Hello, my name is Philip Sirius. This is Andrew Sirius, and no, we are not millionaire or billionaire crypto investors. We both did think about buying at those prices, but for our own reasons, we decided not to, and we feel a little regret over that. Maybe.
I thought Bitcoin was a currency, not as a investment.
And I just love Dogecoin as a joke, but I never thought about actually buying it.
If we put $1,000 in. At that point, it'd be worth like $300 million a day or something like that. But I think the lesson is there is always regret. If you're investing, there will be regret. You will either have bought when you should have sold when you should have bought. You'll either miss the run up, or you didn't buy at the trough. You didn't sell at the peak,
and it's gone.
What if you do it perfectly?
You should have done it more perfectly.
Should have
bought more.
So you always have some regret over it, no matter what happens.
Yeah, we had a friend who bought Dogecoin at 3 cents, and like the first thing was like, gosh, I should have bought it when it was less than a penny.
Yeah.
There is always regret, and that is something that you just have to know, accept, and deal with going when you go into investment. We're in real estate, so we've had plenty of deals that I think the most obvious ones you think of are the deals that got away. The ones that got away. There was one time we were looking to buy 21 houses. They were all right next to each other. 90s built. Yeah, this one was, and they were under market. The list price was $1.89 million, and I had valued them at closer to 2.5, 2.6, and great rentals, performing. We went in over asking at 1.95, and it went for 1.975, and it's just like.
Could have had it. We just barely missed it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had other ones, just simple ones. We bought this kind of dump of a property in Kansas City one time.
Sometimes you regret the deals you buy.
I don't regret that property as much as you do, but the reason we regret it is because we got that one over a 7-unit property in a great area of town, and we got one over the other.
Yeah, we got that one first, and then it was shortly after the recession, and then we had a credit line pulled, and we couldn't get the second one. The second one's in a really nice part in Hyde Park in Kansas City, which is a nice area, great rental market. The other one was in kind of a bit of the hood, and we actually technically made money when we sold it like 8 years after we bought it, but it was always a struggle. We were always losing money on it. We had tough tenants, bad turnovers. It was a management nightmare, and I mean, I've heard of worse. A mutual friend who took over a building, and one first week, I think there was a shootout outside the leasing office.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's always a blast. But yeah,
blast! Yikes!
But yeah, so I mean, we got deals. There was a house in Hyde Park that. Repeatedly, it was on for $49,000. Anyone who knows Hyde Park, this is a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. Anyone who knows Hyde Park in Kansas City knows this is a farcical price, even back in 2014. Went on at $49,000. We went a little bit over asking. We weren't buying aggressively then, and that happened. And then it went off, and then it came back on. This happened like 4 or 5 times. And the 5th time, we got our offer back in. Each time the real estate agent reached back out to us, and this time they didn't. We put our offer in, but apparently it was a little late because our offer was like $51,000, and it would have been the highest. They bought it for like $50,000. We should have got it. We should have got the deal, but we didn't because we were a little bit late because the real estate agent didn't call us to act that one time. And I don't know how much money they put into this property. I don't know how much money they ended up selling it for $203,000, and so I don't think it was more than $75,000. So they made a freaking killing. We did not make a killing, even though it felt like I died.
There was a personal house I wanted to buy in a similar area, Westport area of Kansas City, a house where you could only buy it as an owner-occupant. I went over 3 times asking. So there's asking price. I multiplied that by 3, went even over, and ended up missing it by like $3,500. Our father had houses in Portland back in the 80s that he had. He was
all in for $70,000. Yeah. He was all in for $70,000.
This was back, I don't remember, 81, 82, something like that?
Yeah, 83, I think. But he sold it basically broke even. Yeah. And then he ran into the guy he sold it to. It was like 2013. You want to hear what it sold for? You want to hear what is it just recently sold? And my dad was like, no, I do not want to hear it. But he told him anyways, is $950,000.
Yeah. So if we just held it on there, that's $1 million house that he missed out on right there.
And it's gone.
So you're gonna have regret this, even when you do well. I feel like we've done very well here in Kansas City overall. We still have all these regrets, even with our successes. I mean, we own over 500 units now. We're doing really well, but I still have regrets over when we started. Our management was horrible. I made so many mistakes. We rented to people we shouldn't have rented to.
I did acquisition and rehab because I'm the older brother, and I gave management to Phil because he's good.
But we rented to our screening criteria was not very good. We put in a lot of people who should not have been renting our properties. We have a video on screening if you want to watch that. They ended up destroying our houses. Our cash flow wasn't working right. We had no systems. Everything felt like a mess. Things were breaking all over the place. And so we're like, this isn't really working. And so we really kind of slowed down our buying and stuff like that. And even though we've done so well over the last 10 years, I'm like, man, we should own 2,000. We should have 10,000 houses if we had this figured out on day one.
There's a 150-unit apartment complex we could have gotten, but we pushed too hard on. We had some and they went with somebody else, a cash offer that was lower than ours. We had some bad hires. We had a property manager who was just insubordinate and doing this and putting in like secret doors and tiny hallways without our permission. A contractor who was taking kickbacks. I mean, we've had all of these issues. But I mean, if you think about it, this is common. I mean, with the elite of the elite, do you think that Tom Brady thinks more about the 28-3 comeback or the helmet catch that ruined his perfect season? Which one haunts his nightmares more? I mean, it's like...
I don't think the successes haunt your nightmares.
Okay, which one puts more thought? Like the one that got away or the one that...
I used to be a poker player, and anybody who's been a poker player in their life knows that the only hands you remember are the really big hands that you lost. I still remember hands in big tournaments that I was all in, and the final table hands, I remember Kings versus Tens. I remember it. I still remember
straight
that
on the river.
You can't let that emotion affect how you're going to move forward. You can't let that get in the way.
Yeah, I mean, you don't think about... You should, first of all, just remind yourself. Fake it till you make it. You talk yourself up. Daily affirmations. I mean, these are cheesy. Miracle Morning from Hal Elrod. He talks all about this. It is important. Remember your success. We had our biggest deal. We'll do a video on it in the future. 97 houses. We really had no business getting that. Like, it was like, I mean, I wouldn't say it was luck, but it was just like a lot of things had to come together.
It was a mix of luck and making it work.
There was some luck involved. And it was like, I don't think about it, like that was just that becomes the background. That's the standard. You every time you take a step up, it becomes your new normal. The steps up you could have taken, those are what get you. And so I think you really have to see it as like regret is a choice.
That's the big key.
And it's like you have to choose not to regret the one. They are learning experiences. They are, like on that 21 houses, it's like we wanted to get all of it.
Yeah.
At a really, like, we'll go over asking, but we knew we had competition. Let's get it at a good price. Not let's get it at a great price, but maybe not get it. There's all sorts of lessons, management lessons, hiring lessons. It was like if you have a gut feeling, chase it down. We had a gut feeling quite a bit before that. If we had on some of our bad hires, now we can go into all the specifics of lessons learned. But the general thing is like you should see your regrets as lessons learned or just whatever. It's in the past, but
the actual regret is not a lesson. There are things to take from the past, but feeling the regret, wishing you made a different decision, wishing you jumped in faster or more or sold at the top. Yeah, it's not going to help. Look at it practically and look what you can do differently in the signs that you can learn from. But the regret, you got to find ways to mitigate that or just completely throw it in the trash.
Every great investor, every great anything has had, horrible setbacks. Great athletes have lost games. Great actors have made awful movies with terrible performances. Great investors have made bad investments. And it's part of the game. Yeah. And it's like if you have nothing to regret, then you didn't do anything, and that should be the biggest regret.
That you never jumped in the game in the first place.
Everyone loses money, everyone misses great deals. You have to choose. You can either choose to just waste your time away, waste your life away, or understand that is part of the equation. It is going to happen. It's part of your business. It's part of your mindset. It has to be things to regret, but we're not going to regret them.
Yeah, we're going to learn from them, move on, and get better, and so that we have less potential regrets.
Indeed.
As we move forward.
But you're not going to regret the potential regrets if they reach it. But with the exception of one, and that would be the biggest regret you could possibly have, which is not subscribing and sharing this
You gotta hit that red
all the
subscribe
videos.
button.
That would cause a regret that you actually should waste your life away regretting. Although
Well, you can make up for it later.
it's
So that's
easy,
the
it's
reason
easy to
why-
rectify by just subscribing.
Just hit it right now.
Just do it, all right?
Yeah.
Do it! Just do it!